aṣíwájú l'Ẹlẹ́dùmarè fún wa. Aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá. Ipò aṣíwájú l'Ẹlẹ́dùmarè fún wa nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe gírí, ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́ ká tẹpá wa mọ́ṣẹ́, ká bára wa sọ̀rọ̀, ká sòdodo, ká ṣohun tó tọ́ tó dára nígbà gbogbo. Ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, lójú mi kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, nígbà tèmi kò ní rẹ̀yìn o. Èmi aṣohun tó tọ́ tó dára nígbà gbogbo, níbi gbogbo fún ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá. Aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá. Ipò aṣíwájú l'Ẹlẹ́dùmarè fún wa nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe gírí, ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́ ká tẹpá wa mọ́ṣẹ́, ká bára wa sọ̀rọ̀, ká sòdodo, ká ṣohun tó tọ́ tó dára nígbà gbogbo, níbi gbogbo fún ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, lójú mi kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, nígbà tèmi kò ní rẹ̀yìn o. Èmi aṣohun tó tọ́ tó dára nígbà gbogbo, níbi gbogbo fún ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá. Aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá. Ipò aṣíwájú l'Ẹlẹ́dùmarè fún wa nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe gírí, ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́ ká tẹpá wa mọ́ṣẹ́, ká bára wa sọ̀rọ̀, ká sòdodo, ká ṣohun tó tọ́ tó dára nígbà gbogbo, níbi gbogbo fún ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, lójú mi kò ní aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá. Ipò aṣíwájú l'Ẹlẹ́dùmarè fún wa nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe gírí, ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́ ká tẹpá wa mọ́ṣẹ́, ká bára wa sọ̀rọ̀, ká sòdodo, ká ṣohun tó tọ́ tó dára nígbà gbogbo, níbi gbogbo fún ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Kò ní rẹ̀yìn o lójú mi, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o nígbà tèmi, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o. Èmi á ṣohun tó tọ́ tó dára nígbà gbogbo, níbi gbogbo fún ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá. Aṣíwájú ni wá. Aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá. Ipò aṣíwájú l'Ẹlẹ́dùmarè fún wa nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe gírí, ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́ ká tẹpá wa mọ́ṣẹ́, ká bára wa sọ̀rọ̀, ká sòdodo, ká ṣohun tó tọ́ tó dára nígbà gbogbo, níbi gbogbo fún ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Kò ní rẹ̀yìn o lójú mi, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o nígbà tèmi, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o. Èmi á ṣohun tó tọ́ tó dára nígbà gbogbo, níbi gbogbo fún ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá. Aṣíwájú ni wá. Aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá. Ipò aṣíwájú l'Ẹlẹ́dùmarè fún wa nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe gírí, ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́ ká tẹpá wa mọ́ṣẹ́, ká bára wa sọ̀rọ̀, ká sòdodo, ká ṣohun tó tọ́ tó dára nígbà gbogbo, níbi gbogbo fún ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Kò ní rẹ̀yìn o lójú mi, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o nígbà tèmi, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o. Èmi á ṣohun tó tọ́ tó dára nígbà gbogbo, níbi gbogbo fún ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá. Aṣíwájú ni wá. Aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá. Ipò aṣíwájú l'Ẹlẹ́dùmarè fún wa nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe gírí, ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́ ká tẹpá wa mọ́ṣẹ́, ká bára wa sọ̀rọ̀, ká sòdodo, ká ṣohun tó tọ́ tó dára nígbà gbogbo, níbi gbogbo fún ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Kò ní rẹ̀yìn o lójú mi, kò ní ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá. Ipò aṣíwájú l'Ẹlẹ́dùmarè fún wa nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe gírí, ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́ ká tẹpá wa mọ́ṣẹ́, ká bára wa sọ̀rọ̀, ká sòdodo, ká ṣohun tó tọ́ tó dára nígbà gbogbo, níbi gbogbo fún ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, lójú mi, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, nígbà tèmi, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o. Èmi á ṣohun tó tọ́ tó dára nígbà gbogbo, níbi gbogbo fún ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá. Aṣíwájú ni wá. Aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá. Ipò aṣíwájú l'Ẹlẹ́dùmarè fún wa. Ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe gírí, ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́ ká tẹpá wa mọ́ṣẹ́, ká bára wa sọ̀rọ̀, ká sòdodo, ká ṣohun tó tọ́ tó dára nígbà gbogbo, níbi gbogbo fún ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, lójú mi, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, nígbà tèmi, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o. Èmi á ṣohun tó tọ́ tó dára nígbà gbogbo, níbi gbogbo fún ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá. Aṣíwájú ni wá. Aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá. Ipò aṣíwájú l'Ẹlẹ́dùmarè fún wa nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe gírí, ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́ ká tẹpá wa mọ́ṣẹ́, ká bára wa sọ̀rọ̀, ká sòdodo, ká ṣohun tó tọ́ tó dára nígbà gbogbo, níbi gbogbo fún ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, lójú mi, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o, nígbà tèmi, kò ní rẹ̀yìn o. Èmi á ṣohun tó tọ́ tó dára nígbà gbogbo, níbi gbogbo fún ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá, aṣíwájú ni wá. Aṣíwájú ni wá.
Good morning, Mr. Damilari. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. I can hear you perfectly. Good morning.
Great. Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm fine to myself.
Okay. So we are looking towards an intellectual rewarding time with you. We've not met, but I've heard a lot about you. I'm Dr. Oluwabumi Bakari Fatungashi.
Nice to meet you, Mama. Nice to meet you virtually.
Same here.
wanted
Okay.
to like ask here, thank you
Sir?
so much. It's gonna be a 1 hour session, right?
Yeah, it's going to be 1 hour, but you have like 30 to 35 minutes of presentation. Would that
Yeah,
be
yeah.
enough?
No, that's more than enough because I have an oral defense the after then. So yeah.
Okay, so should we make it strictly 30 minutes?
For my presentation?
Yeah.
Sure. I will take up to that. Depends on how of my pace, but I should just keep it within that period.
Okay, there's no problem. So you can share your slide from your hand when the time comes.
So I'm doing it now. You see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it. Okay, so you can just do it at that. So when the time comes, then we can.
Just wanna like do something very like for 10 seconds. I'll be back shortly.
You said what?
Back shortly. Want to do something for like 10 seconds.
Okay, that's no problem. Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hello, can you hear me?
Good morning.
Good
Yeah,
morning.
good morning. Good morning. We are
Good
welcome
morning.
to, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining this webinar series, the Young Liberian Professional the Young Liberian Professional Platform, webinar series 2. We appreciate you for joining us. And today our speaker is going to be Mr. Damilare Oyedele, and he's going to be looking at discussing with us the topic that is navigating the future of libraries, exploring trends and technology. Yeah, and my name is Dr. Oluwabumi Bakari Fatungashe, and I am the chairperson of the committee for the Young Liberian Professional put together by the Nigerian Library Association. This is the idea of the NLA chairperson in person of Dr. Sophie Adeyeye, in order to bring to bear the necessity of introducing recent trends in librarianship, and also in order to be able to make the profession enticing to emerging librarians. So on that note, I welcome everybody on board. And I'm going to call on either Mrs. Kolajo Susan is in the house. Mrs. Kolajo Susan, are you in the house? Okay, if she's not in the house, then I'll just take over being the compare. So without wasting much of our time, I'm going to introduce members of the committees that are here. I have Dr. Ayodele Jonalunge, who has joined us, and we have Mrs. Obo. Mrs. Obo is the secretary, and she's unavoidably absent, and Dr. Sophia Adeyeye also might not be joining us today. She might pop in before we finish, because Leeds City University, we are preparing for convocation, and we have vivas coming up here and there, and so that's why she will not be able to join us. So on that note now, without wasting much of our time, like I said, I'm the chairperson, and I welcome you once again for joining us. So I'm going to read the citation of the speaker. So give me a sec to do that. Okay.
Hi, Mommy. How are you doing?
Please, I would advise that if you are not saying anything asking question, we should kindly mute ourselves so that we'll have an uninterrupted session. Okay. Damilare Oyedele is a librarian with a keen interest in library development programs in sub-Saharan African countries around SDGs, capacity development of emerging library leaders, library connectivity, innovative designs for library advocacy, policy, and research. Is solving global library challenges through Library Eats, a non-profit organization that harnesses digital technology and citizen engagement approaches to realize the potential of libraries, to deliver development. He also serves the Sub-Saharan African Regional Division Committee of the he also serves on the Sub-Saharan African Regional Division Committee of the International Federation of Library Associations and Institutions, that is IFLA, where he leads work on IFLA's global advocacy priorities in Sub-Saharan Africa. Over the years, he has been actively engaged in implementing various programs to improve library usage, strengthen advocacy for libraries, improve the capacity of young library professionals and build multi-stakeholder partnership and collaboration. These has identified strategic need for a more dynamic approach to promoting libraries and the contribution they can make to society. We can see that our speaker is well versed when it comes to library advocacy, and that is what he wants to bring to bear in his discourse today, where he's going to take us into the world of navigating the future of libraries, exploring trends and technologies, knowing that as emerging librarians, we need, as emerging librarians, as students, really needs to understand the principal rules of the library at this time, and not seeing technologies as what as displacer or as enablers, so that they can explore the current trends and technologies. So without wasting much of our time, so I'm going to call on a speaker. That is, I'll call on our speaker to have the floor so that I can start this presentation. Over to you, Damilare, who will deal with your presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And it's nice to report today to have this dialogue and conversation with about navigating the future of libraries and how we can explore trends and technologies. So I'll be speaking more from my experience working in the library ecosystem, more importantly in the advocacy development part of libraries in the past couple of years, working with Library in Africa, some other international organizations across 14 countries in the African continent. And a lot of components here we're going to unpack today, which aligns towards what is the future of library, what does the future of libraries look like? Before we dive into that, I want us to go to our device and go to menti.com. Okay, go to menti.com and type in this code once you go on your device. And once you type in this code, I want to respond to a question. Give me a few seconds to share that part of my screen. The question you're going to respond to that says in one or two words, what do you see the future of libraries to look like in Africa? So let me share my screen to that. Okay, so go to menti.com, type the code. Give me a few seconds for that to load. Yeah, so go to menti.com, type the code 8460-8610. And in one or two words, what do you see the future of libraries to look like in Africa? Let me know if you are able to access menti.com, please. Let me just type it in the chat box. So then type the code 8460-8610. Are we on menti.com now? Can we confirm if we're there?
Are we all on menti.com? If you are not there, let the speaker know. Kindly raise your hands if you're not, virtually raise your hands if you're not getting it, so that I can put you through.
We have one response already, innovative. So when you get to menti.com, type in the code 8460-8610. Okay. I'm also dropping the link directly in the chat box. So what do you see the future of libraries to look like in a word or two? It appears colleagues are having some difficulty accessing this because this is supposed to pull up by now. Let me just try to refresh. Just try to refresh and see if there's any result, because it's just pop up immediately. Okay, so without wasting much time, I'm going to proceed on to my other presentation. Yeah, so the trends for the future of libraries relies heavily currently on three major areas, which over time I expressed pan across. Number one is technology. Number two, the importance of library policy and advocacy. And number three, the skills of the future. All these major points brings together, plays an important role to navigate the trends of libraries and how emerging library leaders can prepare for the future of libraries. Okay, and I'll be diving further to give more context into how these things work. And technology. I mean, various tech tools now are available that we explore in various libraries. Some we just explore them to make libraries more viable, to make libraries much more engaging, to make our libraries much more visible, which a lot of libraries across the continent are investing heavily resources on this particular ecosystem through technology tools, so for library services, and also building on the physical need to make libraries hybrid spaces, all right? And the thing about this technology application is that these things continue to evolve with new innovations, with new trends, which as libraries and librarians, we have a responsibility to find a way to continuously adapt and improve on these trends, right? And going on to my second point here around library policy. The implication of policy for the library field over the next couple of years will impact all aspects of libraries, all right? Because it holds a very strong power to facilitate legislative backing that will enhance library services provision, right? Such as infrastructure, capacity development, and funding. Okay, and that connotes the need for us to constructively investigate, right? What does policy say about libraries in our country? Are there efficient policies that guide how libraries operate? And knowing that countries differ in terms of policy ecosystem, how does library operate at the community level, at the state level, at the national level? Because we have educational policy, health policy, among others, that guides how the system operates. But however, as libraries, the implication of policy will not just reshape the future of libraries, but furthermore, we ensure libraries as strategic partners for growth and development. And more importantly, libraries getting the resources that we need to make our libraries much more sustainable and serve the community. Okay, and diving further to my next point here, which seeks to speak about the skills of the future. Okay, our communities continue to evolve over time. As this continues to evolve, the changes are very rapid, and the needs of our community continue to differ and improve as it progresses. And this means that the library needs of our community will also change progressively. And this further necessitates the need for skills audits in the context of what are the skills that we have in the library ecosystem currently? Are these skills matching the current trends of growth in the community? All right. And how do we emphasize the need for development of library professionals to meet the demands of the contemporary user? And these skills could vary from test skills, advocacy skills, and other emerging skills that are pertinent and essential and that are needed for current situation and the future of work as we progress. And progressively, I'll be sharing some other insights also around the IFLA Trends Report. The IFLA Trends Report 2022 also aligns to some of these principles that I earlier mentioned, right, which I was part of the author for this particular trend report. And I'm going to highlight a few points that is also mentioned around policy, around skills and technology, showing that there is a robust need for us as libraries and librarians, and more importantly, emerging library leaders to take ownership and responsibility to harness this ecosystem and support growth for libraries. Okay, so around policy from the IFLA Trends Report, it states that we need to see libraries as players in a wider variety of policy areas. Note keynotes here, wider variety of policy areas. This connotes that when there is tech policy being developed, we should be able to prioritize and engage with stakeholders on us. Okay, libraries as partners in development, we provide access to e-resources and internet connectivity. We should be part of this policy development process, and libraries should be included in this tech policy. All right, is it copyright laws and reforms? Among other policies, that's influencing in a society. All right, I'm moving on that. We should be more open in where and how, we engage in advocacy, making a wider variety of issues our own. All right, because policy goes hand in hand with advocacy. Okay, we shouldn't just stay behind our desk. We need to engage in constructive and strategic advocacy that will enhance library trajectory going forward. All right, and the third point it mentioned is that we should intensify and improve our own advocacy for libraries. It's important because there is no advocacy without policy, there's no policy without advocacy. Okay, and lastly, on this particular point, it states that we need to be more effective voice for libraries with other stakeholders. And here, this reiterates more the need for us to build multi-stakeholder partnership and collaborations that will influence for libraries. We can't work in silos, no. We have to build partnership with stakeholders in the ecosystem and connect with them to show the value we offer as libraries and how our work intersects. Right. And the next point here around skills, okay, from the IFLA Trends report says, we must see outreach as a key to achieving our mission. All right. And this connotes the need for libraries to build capacity and skills in outreach, community engagement, and communications. All right, we need to engage with emerging library leaders in dialogues and activities to shape the future of libraries as we are having today. Understanding from the libraries, from the emerging libraries to understand, okay, as an emerging library leader, all right, what are the skills you need to thrive in the ecosystem? All right, what are the contemporary issues happening in society? Okay, and what are the skills we need to achieve these particular issues? How do we build librarians of the future, librarians that will be relevant now and for the future? All this relies heavily on skills and capacity. And the best way to do that is to engage, as we're doing today, with emerging library leaders in dialogues and conversation to shape the future of libraries forward. We should see emerging library leaders as partners in the development of the library profession. I'm going to repeat. We should see emerging library leaders as partners in development of librarianship, for creating a future of libraries, having intergenerational dialogues to understand, okay, from the other generation, what progress have we made, all right? From we, the new gens, how are we harnessing technology in the together and co-creating a better future for libraries, right? And diving forward on this point also are going on technology. Based on the IFLA Trends, it says we need to embrace and share innovation. We're at the age and time when technology is moving rapidly. And it is important that as emerging library leaders, we shouldn't shy away from these technologies. We should embrace how can we apply these services, this tech innovation to our services. How can we use these tech innovations to make libraries much more visible? How can we use this tech innovation to make libraries much more engaging? All this depends on we embracing this change that technology brings and sharing them. Right. And diving forward on that, how do we now explore these trends based on our topic of today? All right. How do we explore these trends? I'll be giving some very key action points here, which, I believe we'll be able to go on as we progress from this conversation to adopt and integrate. How do we explore these trends as emerging library leaders? All right. Number one, technology. As emerging library leader, let's explore how we can enhance library visibility. Okay. How can we make our libraries much more visible? How can we make our libraries much more engaging? How can we make our libraries much more known? Okay. And also improve user engagement. All right. How do we make library engagement with our users much more innovative and creative? And lastly, under technology, it is important to realize the essentialism of fostering hybrid library system. Okay, and these are a few pointers which we need to continuously explore as emerging library leaders and adopt and align with our priorities as we progress. I'm going further on library policy, which I had mentioned, plays an important role, an essential role for us to have technology for libraries, for us to have library funding, for us to have infrastructure. It all relies heavily on policies. all right? As a managing library leader, it is important we start to, investigate our research on existing laws and policies and legislation that guide libraries in our various communities, and how this will affect the need to review laws and legislation and policies that will drive improved library funding, budget allocation, and infrastructure development. All these go with policies. Policy, policy, policy. And skills of the future. On this part, which I earlier mentioned, I think it is important that we continuously engage our emerging library leaders and also our emerging library leaders so far to engage to like, how can we now go ahead and review our training curriculum? Does our training curriculum, our library curriculums, school library curriculums in Nigeria aligns to the emerging trends and emerging needs of our community? Curriculum and training that will equip young library leaders to be efficient, irrespective of the narrative of a society. In the context of the skills you're getting now as an emerging library leader, they need to be able to make you thrive, irrespective of what happens in society. And when COVID struck 2 years ago, we saw that when libraries were closed physically, and libraries had to realign priorities towards offering library services electronically. Now, I'll be diving further into what are we currently doing at Library Aid Africa, as an organization to make this happen. Library Aid Africa is a non-profit organization that enhances digital technology and citizen engagement approaches for libraries to realize their potential and deliver on development. And it all started during COVID-19 when libraries were closed. We had to realign our priorities towards 3 major areas around community engagement and creation, technology innovation for libraries, and library advocacy, policy and research. And through these areas, we have been able to, over time, create interventions and programs that seek to address these trends, building capacity, engaging stakeholders in forums and meetings to prioritize libraries' trends development in Africa. We have a fellowship where we're nurturing the new generation of library leaders in Africa. We have nurtured close to 100 of them across over 20 African countries. More recently, we are commencing the Library Policy Fellowship, which seeks to investigate community engagement. We are heavily investing on the library intervention program. All this evolves around prioritize the need for us to navigate these emerging trends and technologies, and how we can apply them practically to address core library issues on the continent as it pertains to various demographics of library users. And non-library users also. All right. So as I conclude on my presentation, this scope, and let's read earlier asked sentences. Let me go back to the particular screen. I can see things are coming up now. Brilliant. Okay, in 1 or 2 words, what do you see the future of libraries to look like? Right? And let's start to ask ourselves this question. How are we being part of this future of libraries? How are we creating to be part of this future of libraries? What skills am I building now as a person, as an individual, to be part of this future of libraries? If you think the future of libraries needs to be transformational, the future of libraries is promising, okay, good. The future of libraries is innovative, yes. The future of libraries is transformative. The future of libraries, of course, it's evolving. I agree on that. So these are some of the contexts we start to ask ourselves, but the future of libraries is fully digital, undisputed. However, as we go about making libraries digital, okay, are we not leaving some people behind in terms of digital divide? All right, so let's start investigating ourselves. Are the future of libraries that we choose to type in here as we progress, how am I creating that story? How am I being part of the change for the future of libraries? How am I being part of that development for the future of libraries? And as you think about these things, let's start to work on actionable steps, constructive steps to work proactively to address these core issues that we have mentioned and continue to work collectively towards creating the future of libraries that we want. Colleagues, I believe I've been able to give you very clear insights around how we can navigate this terrain as libraries and librarians, and more importantly, emerging library leaders. Navigating this terrain relies heavily around how we are able to harness capacity around policy, around technology, and around the skills of the future. Thank you very much. Over to you, moderator.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Damilare, for that succinct but at the same time impactful presentation on navigating the future of libraries, exploring trends and technology. And one fundamental thing that really got to me in your presentation was the fact that you were able to use what you do practically, in the practical sense of it, to bring to bear what the future of libraries, which you were able to bring to bear at the beginning of the presentation, which is innovation. Yeah, we have to be innovative in everything we do. If we are not innovative, I'm telling you, even if we have the best of technologies, there's nothing we can make do from librarianship. Like I always tell people, technologies are enablers. They're supposed to enable us. Yeah. So when it enables us, we become better innovators. But in our own stride, we should be innovators ourselves. So technology should just enable us to be better innovators. That's all. So I really thank you for that impactful presentation. And Dr. Lunge is supposed to take the question and answer session, but he won't be able to do that. So I will call on Barrister Bangbushe to do that. And before that, I recognize the presence of Dr. Ikenna. She has joined us. She's representing the NLA chairperson. Like I said, Dr. Sophia Dieye. She's actually busy with Bible and all the rest in school. Yeah, so I recognize the presence of Dr. Grace Temilolu Ikenna. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so I will hand over to Barrister Bangbushe for the question and answer session before we now give the floor to Dr. Grace Temilolu Ikenna for a speech from the NLA chairperson. Over to you, Barrister Bangbushe.
Thank you very much. We cannot thank enough our presenter for the presentation that has been excellently delivered and warmly received by the participants. We know that this presentation is supposed to, or is expected to stimulate further conversations. So to take this session, we would like to just ask if there are persons who have questions from the presentation that has just been made. So if you have questions, please signify. You can just signify by raising up your hands, or you can drop your questions in the chat box. Again, if you have questions arising from the brilliant presentation by our guest speaker, could you please signify by raising up your hands or by dropping your questions in the chat box. I'm sure that our presenter is ready to respond to these questions. So we'll be waiting. And then while we were waiting, one of the key or take-home point for me is the fact that, like, as librarians, we cannot afford to just sit on the bench and await the future that is uncertain. We must take deliberate steps. We must be decisive. And I also think that we may also want to look at the issue of engaging in multi-sectoral partnerships with persons that are key, who are likely to support us. Persons in the tech sector, persons, being able to identify relevant stakeholders who can help us in the journey. I think that is also very key. It seems that we do not have questions, and in the absence of that, if you have any further conversations you would like to, further discussion you want to have, maybe for a minute or two, I'd like to yield the floor to you before we now ask the NLA executive to close the meeting. Thank you very much. You have the floor, sir. Mr. Adam Larry.
Thank you so very much, Barrister Bampoche, for that. I mean, a lot of the innovative trends for the future of libraries need is also hacked decisively, and it needs us to take responsibility. Okay, it needs us to continue to learn and unlearn a lot of things about our work. And this all relies heavily on individual resilience, individual courage to learn and continue to learn. And also building more stakeholder partnership. The work we do at Library Africa is a very unique work in the context of the ecosystem where which we engage in. Technology, partners, policy, a lot of systems that we work internally to make sure that we're able to do our research well, to understand what language to use for this particular partner, as to engage XYZ partnership, and what we need to achieve. And that has opened this trend, I would say, that's opened this trend of new pathway for us, which we have constantly explored over time, and that has led to a lot of our programs of impact we make across African countries. So, for you to listen to this particular conversation today, you have all the takes. Take the courage to act, to choose to learn, to improve, on learning what you think you know, and learning a lot of things that will shape the future forward as you go ahead. Thank you so much, and it's nice to be here to share this wonderful experience with colleagues on this conversation. Feel free to connect with me online. My name is here. You can track me on social media platform. I'm happy to further engage with you all and see how we can continue to build that agency, how we can continue to build that collaboration, how we can continue to build that ecosystem for emerging library leaders to be exposed to trends and innovative ways of library approach, not just what we used to do. And more importantly, I must say thank you to the NLA for understanding the need of engaging young people in this kind of dialogue. How can we have robust intergenerational dialogues with librarians that are way older and emerging librarians to bring together, our experiences to shape the future of libraries forward? Because we can't do it alone. We need to leverage your experience, and also need to leverage also on our creativity to build and shape the future forward for libraries. Thank you very much. Over to you, Margaret.
Okay, thank you so much for that beautiful rounding up of the session. We sincerely appreciate you. And once again, I appreciate everyone for coming on board. Like I said, the NLA chairperson is unavoidably absent. So I'm going to call on the Vice President of NLA, that is in person of Dr. Ikeina. You have the floor to give the remarks of the NLA chairperson before.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Oluwabumi. I'm very grateful. Good morning, everyone. I bring you greetings from the chairman of Nigerian Library Association, Oyo State Chapter. She is the person of Dr. Adeyeye. She is unavoidably absent this morning from this webinar, but I can assure you that she's here with us in spirit, and she brings our warm greetings for the members of the association and also for the participants of today. I want to quickly chip in that yes, we are grateful to our presenter for today, Dr. That name again, sorry, I'm not too familiar with the name, but I recognize Dr. Damilare Oyedele. I'm very appreciative of your presentation because you really dwelled more on navigating the future of librarians and exploring trends and technology in Africa. We want to, enjoin others to, take away this from this presentation that yes, curriculum and training for future librarians is essential, and innovation, community engagement, policy, technology is very crucial for the future of librarians in Africa, especially for navigating the technologies. Then we want to know, take away that yes, collaboration and partnership is very germane to this. So we need to partner with responsible and very good organizations in this regard. So we thank you for your presentation once again, and want to believe that we'll have more of this. And if you have any questions, we'll be able to reach out to you. Thank you, sir. And thank you. Over to you, Dr. Ruabuni. Very grateful.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ikena, for that warm delivery. Like she rightly said, the NLA chairperson, as she started chatting me, how is it going? So, like she rightly said, her heart is here with us. And she sent everything like she equally said. Yeah, I know that training emerging librarians, situating emerging librarians within the context of present realities is core to the mandate of the present NLA executive. And that is why the young professional librarian committee, that is why we are saddled with the responsibility of ensuring that we bring in speakers, we bring in experts in the field who can do what, who can broaden the horizon of emerging librarians so that they can see that, okay, gone are those days that librarians are just sitting in the confines of the library, cataloging and classifying books and not doing anything more. We do much more than that now. We romance policymakers just like our speaker rightly said. We are experts in our field when it comes to information, when it comes to the usage of technology, most especially in AI now. I know that librarians are writing a lot when it comes to AI now, and we are also working towards developing chatbots for different libraries. I know librarians are capable of doing this. That is why we are trying to bring this to bear to emerging librarians. So I sincerely appreciate the NLA chairperson and the executive of NLA, NLA Oyo State, and also all my committee members. They've been wonderful. They've been wonderful. Where we have people across continents that are part of the committee. And this morning I had to tell some of them that no, just don't worry, everything is going to be fine. And I thank everyone that have participated. And I say you, let me say, you all rock, my committee members. Kudos to all of you. Thank you so much for making the fact that I'm a chairperson a seamless one. And also to all the participants, please, I will advise, my advice is that see this profession as living, not dead. This profession will continue to live. Librarianship cannot die. It cannot die. It will live forever. Because of what? Because there is band for room for information. And in as much as there is band for room for information, there is band for room for librarians, because what we are the pivotal that does what that holds information. We have it at the palm of our hands for people to be able to know the difference between misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. And the usage of emerging technologies will go a long way in making us to be able to let our clientele know the difference among all these odds, because we know what is ravaging on the cyberspace now. So once again, I want to thank our presenter, Damilare Oyedele, and like Dr. Ikena said, Dr. Damilare Oyedele. So embrace it in all its entirety. Yeah. So we sincerely appreciate you for sparing your time, because I know you said you have another defense. That's why we have to speed up things up. Yeah. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate every other participant. So on this note, without wasting much of our time, we are going to be bringing this webinar to a close, and so there's a listserv for this webinar. So we are going to send the YouTube link to that listserv so you can have you can listen to the recording again if you didn't join on time, so that you can see and hear the expert voice of Damilare when it comes to navigating trends of libraries, future libraries. Yeah, so on that note, I appreciate everyone and I bring this meeting to an end. Thank you so much. Do have a lovely morning. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Bye for now. Bye. Thank you so much.